lot of people don't like my perspective as far as Cassie goes. When she filed the lawsuit against him and he was so quick to settle, I knew then he really does genuinely feel sorry for what he did. But what I couldn't seem to understand is why someone who is a victim would want money from their abuser. Me being a DV victim myself, there is no amount of money in the world that could replace how I feel, and I wouldn't even want anything from someone who abused me. So my perspective about Cassie was like, she chose that lifestyle. She saw how bad he treated Kim Porter before he was with her. He flaunted Cassie in Kim Porter's face. Cassie was Diddy's side chick when he was with Kim. So initially I was like, there is no way I could have the same level of sympathy and compassion for Cassie the way that everybody else does.
I believe that two things can be right. However, we need to analyze how they can be right and also wrong at the same time. As Africans, we have experienced so much pain in the hands of our oppressors. However, that does not take away the fact that we still have not received reparations in comparison to others. Does it mean that reparation heal the wound? No. It means that they acknowledge what they did and they take accountability with it, and they're trying to make amends in the form of money. Nothing they could do will ever remove the torment and the pain that we've inherited in our bloodline. That's to say that Cassie wanting money, that's just a little of what he can give to her. And I believe that she deserves that, right? I also believe that, yes, she's right when she says that she wanted this lifestyle. She wanted this because she was blinded, like most of us, the wealth. And she was young, and so age becomes a factor in how we act. Do you believe me now, almost going over 30s, I'm still the same person that I was 20 years. The characters of myself as a 20 years old has changed. Even my wish list has now changed. If I'm going to have to look at it, of the things that I would like to build. There are things that I've wrote there, I'm sure, definitely sure, that if I would analyze them, I don't want them anymore because I've grown out of that. And you grow out of that. You grow out of situations. Sometimes you don't. That is why it's better for you to keep on working on yourself. She's a mother now. And I'm sure now she understands a lot of things she has done wrong. And she understands what the ex-wife went through. However, it is when she started living her experience that she started to understand what she's going through.
Cassie was Diddy's side chick when he was with Kim. So initially I was like, there is no way I could have the same level of sympathy and compassion for Cassie the way that everybody else does, is because I will always see her as a woman who saw another woman being hurt and cheated on and lied to and abused, and thought that because she was prettier, younger, and Latina, that she wasn't going to be a victim of his. So I don't look at it how everybody else looks at it. I don't see her as a victim. I see her as someone who chose this lifestyle over and over and over again because she wanted a decent career. She wanted to be connected to somebody famous, and she wanted to be financially stable.
Sure, we can agree that she wanted to be financially stable and she probably did climb up the ladder. It doesn't mean that. And also, mind you, I'm adding this. Age is a factor. And like I said, age determines how we react. Okay, you're not the same person when you're a naive girl who's seen this life of opulence that you've never lived, and now you're in the eyes of spotlight and you're with a man who's connected. And I'm sure Diddy was not like that in the beginning. He did not treat her like that in the beginning. And like most women in the hands of their oppressors, or in the hands of the men that oppressed them, there's just this thing that clings on to the fact that he was once a good man to me. And when he switched up on her, he could not believe it, okay? That is why I sympathize with her, because as a woman, I've been in similar situation, okay? I've been in similar situation, and you would lie if you say that as a woman, you're most likely going to experience some sort of manhandling from a man. You're just going to. And if I was in his shoes and dreamed of, which I probably have as a young girl, and I've seen this live on TV and I want it for myself, you know, this is why it's good for you guys to be good moral role models for your daughters.
Do remember in my early 20s when he first started dating Cassie that the rumor was that he was using her to be harmful towards Kim, like he was disrespecting her. He was using Cassie as a way to make Kim feel some type of way.
He treated her horribly. He treated her almost similar to how he treated Cassie. And there's a woman by the name of Cola Buff who's a writer and claims that she had a conversation with Kim before she passed, and Kim told her about some of the horrific things Diddy did to her, and she also said Cassie wasn't really sympathetic toward Kim like that, at least not at first. At the time, Cassie was the new girl in the picture, and Diddy would flaunt her around Kim, and allegedly Cassie liked the attention. She didn't realize that Diddy was going to be mistreating her the same way he mistreated Kim. Diddy was an MFer. Y'all would not even begin to believe the way he treated Kim Porter. And ironically, Cassie back then allowed herself to be used to disrespect Kim in her own home. Cassie let herself be flaunted in Kim's face, laughed at Diddy beating Kim, was awful. I feel bad for Cassie getting beat up like that, but I still remember when Cassie allowed herself to be used racially against Kim Porter as Diddy humiliated, beat, and repeat Kim for years. Y'all have always hated me for talking the real about these men, but they deserve it. What y'all saw in that video of Diddy beating Cassie was nothing. I'll never forget the time he tried to make Kim Porter lick Cassie's tampon, always using Kim's race as a put down. You guys don't know the half of what women go through with the famous and powerful men. Be they rappers, be they Bin Laden, be they actors, y'all have no idea, and you always demonize the women. Always.
That is your way of saying that is karma, then she is definitely getting her karma. I'm sure she has experienced even the same thing which traumatized her, and she will probably never heal from the same things that Kim, the late Kim, have experienced in the hands of Diddy. So you see how the cycle goes. So she was never unpunished by life. Life found a way to locate the pains of Kim to her, because that's how life is. Okay. And I'm sure now she's matured enough to realize, because even I back then, we were just not that open to speaking about the things that they do, people, to black people. But I do agree with some of the things that she says. Like I said, is how we analyze them and have conversations about those very same things. Anyway, let's continue.
I look at Cassie as one of those women who thought she was all that and thought she wasn't about to be hurt by a man she's seen hurting other women. And oftentimes we as women do that. We do that all of the time. We see men who lie to women, mistreat women, cheat on women, and we still end up being with these men anyway. That's a big ass problem. And I know women only want to be held accountable at the right times. Like they feel like certain times or situations or certain types of circumstances, they shouldn't be held accountable for their poor choices that they make when it comes to men. I'm not exonerating Diddy of anything he's done, but I do feel like as a woman inside of a DV relationship, when you decide to stay inside of these relationships, after he done hit you, if you don't leave the first time and you allow him to continue to keep hitting you over and over again to where it becomes a habit, it then becomes your fault because you saw the type of person he was from the beginning.
I remember you. Aren't you that lady that got pregnant by that married man? And you were like, leave your wife for me and this baby. And he said, funky hoe, I'm not leaving my wife. Your pussy's dry and used, and now your son is illegitimate. And so you said, okay, well then terminate your parental rights. And I don't know if he did or not. I can't remember. Your story's too messy for me to keep up. But then after all that, you faked your death. And then you just pop back up like nothing had happened. Why would we listen to you?